What's going on, everybody? It's Tyler with Tyler Talks Travel Trailers here at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Today I wanted to do one more couples coach because after this I'm going to be doing some bunk houses and fifth wheels, kind of mix it up a little bit. But I love this layout. We got it in yesterday, so I had to do it. I couldn't just let it sit there. I had to get it done right away. This is going to be a Flagstaff Microlite 22 SQS. And what I love about it is that it's under 25 feet with dual axle. So I know a lot of people come in here, they're always like, what is the smallest trailer I can get that has dual axle? And usually it's like at that 25-foot mark. So getting one that's 23 feet, I think it's like 23 feet, but I'll tell you the specs. But it is under 25 feet and dual axle. It also has a Murphy bed, and you know I'm a fan of Murphy bed because it makes it a little more versatile on the interior of this trailer. I am feeling a little under the weather. I'm not sure if I'm getting a cold or what. All that traveling I did, I am feeling a little funky. So bear with me, go easy on me on this tour. If it seems like I'm a little off, that's why. So like always, we're gonna do the specs first. It takes me 1 minute to do those specs, and then we'll dive inside. Let's go, guys. So the basic specs on this Flagstaff Microlite 22 SQS. Your unloaded vehicle weight is 5,275 pounds. Your cargo carrying capacity is 1,550 pounds, which brings your potential fully loaded weight to 6,825 pounds. Your hitch weight is 748 pounds. Your exterior length is 23 feet 10 inches total. Your exterior height is 10 feet 11 inches. Your exterior width is 8 feet. Your tanks, your fresh water tank is 54 gallons. Your gray water tank is 29 gallons. And your black tank is 29 gallons. Your awning size is 15 feet. Let's jump inside. Awesome, everybody. Now that we got those specs done, we will start with the inside and work our way out. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm going to be talking a lot about the features, options, construction, and I also give you some good measurements so you have an idea of what kind of space you're working with on the interior. 22 SQS couples coach right under that 25-foot mark. I love this layout. They did make another Murphy bed floor plan. That was the 25 DK, but they discontinued it. So I believe this is one of the few that they have left that they're still making. Stick with me because this Murphy bed is a little different than other Murphy beds out there. It is a lot more comfortable the way they have it set up. But I'm a person that says if you're looking at a trailer that's 25 feet or under, you might as well go with the Murphy bed because look at all of this floor space. And I will show you how that goes up and down. So I'm a fan of Murphy beds mainly because, you know, if you have guests or let's say it's raining out and you have your grandkids or friends or whatever, you won't have to have them just sitting on your bed. You know, you could put your bed up and then you have this nice couch. And I will show you what the couch does as well, but we'll put this down real quick. Very simple to put this up and down. And if it's just the two of you, you could just keep it down all the time. You don't necessarily have to have it up. So this plops down. You do have storage underneath that I will show you. Then you want to grab this handle down here, not up here because you will pinch your fingers and it does not feel good. So bring that down and bam, you are done. How easy is that? Uh-oh, my camera's following me. If you ever see me doing this, it's because my camera starts following me. This technology is too good. So this is the setup when the Murphy bed is down. This is going to be a 60 by 74. So if you aren't familiar with RVs, they do make RV Queens, RV Kings. They're just going to be about 6 inches shorter than your standard 60 by 80 residential queen. Now I know what you're thinking. I always say it, RV mattresses are not the best. In fact, they kind of suck. And Flagstaff actually gives you a decent one. But if you did want to switch this out with another mattress, a lot of companies make 60 by 74 mattresses. So if you did want to upgrade the mattress, do not worry. It's just 6 inches shorter and they do make them. So if you want to get a Tempur-Pedic or anything like that, that's a little more comfortable, you can. Try to get up here without putting my feet on the bed. But you kind of have like this headboard table right here. If you want to put some water, if you're like me, you need to have 6 glasses of water in the middle of the night, you could put that right there. You do have a plug on that side, but not on this side. There is a plug on this side, but it's up this way a little more, and I will show you. As you can see, you got your front windshield, Love the front windshield, lets in natural light. Also get to see the view. I get people that are concerned about this sometimes. You can buy aftermarket covers for those if you would like. So there is ways to protect it. If you get the opportunity to get a Murphy bed, definitely get it. Pretty nice. And then let's say the weather is bad. You have guests, you have friends hanging out. You're gonna have a lot more seating than someone else that has a 25-foot trailer that doesn't have a Murphy bed. So all you gotta do is pull this little tab out, lift this up, and boom. Now you can have your guests in here, kick back, relax. Everyone has a place to sit, and these do recline. Check it out. Best of both worlds. That's why I love this layout so much. A lot of other Murphy beds out there, they do not recline. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I did not point out is there is no seam in the mattress. So if you're out there looking at Murphy beds, you'll notice a lot of them, they'll like fold in half. I've seen some that fold 3 times. And sometimes that little seam in the mattress can be extremely uncomfortable. That mattress will be just one piece. So that is the huge benefit of Flagstaff, is they don't put the seam in the mattress. So as you saw, you got your recliners. If we come over here, you do have your cup holders right there for those cold snacks. And I measured from armrest to armrest. So I actually measured what you're going to be sitting on from right here to the other side is going to be 5 feet 4 inches. You do have some end tables over here on both sides, and I measured those out for you as well. So if you're kicking back, you could put your drink right here or whatever. This is going to be 10 by 31 for both end tables. And like I said, you do have plugs on both sides. This one will be right here. If you have a CPAP machine or anything like that, you could maybe put it right here while you're asleep. So one plug there. I don't believe there's a plug on that side. It is just USB and USB-C. So the other plug on this side will be where I showed you up there. You do have hanging wardrobes on both sides, and I will just open one of them because they are the same. 14 by 31 and 43 inches tall. So a nice tall wardrobe. Like I always say, a lot of times they make these wardrobes not tall enough, and then you have wrinkled shirts. So it is definitely tall enough to hang your clothes. You got a drawer on both sides. These drawers on both sides will be 9 by 16 and 4 inches deep. And windows on both sides. So if you want to crack these open, you can get a nice cross breeze going through here. These are frameless windows, and I'll show you when we go outside. They kind of open a little differently. So if it's raining or anything, and you leave a window open, you're out hiking or something, you won't have rain coming in, but you can open these, let that fresh air in, and then your roller shades. So blackout shades, if you're a vampire. Moving on. Pretty nice setup. Over here to the left is going to be your slide outs. Right there where it's all framed out. This is going to be a rack and pinion slide system, and there is some benefits to that, especially with travel mode. I will show you travel mode before we go outside. But one thing I like about the rack and pinion slide system, it is seamless. So there isn't a step up going into the dinette. I know that could get annoying. You have a pantry right here, or another wardrobe. I like that they gave you the opportunity to do whatever you want. So you can remove these, which is pretty helpful, and you already got the hanging thing right here. So if you want to hang some jackets or coats, each one of these is going to be 15 by 19, and they range from 13 inches tall down to 23 inches tall. So you got variations of height right here, which is nice because not everything is the same height. And like I said, you can remove these. If you do remove it, it's going to be 15 by 19 and 68 inches tall. So literally floor to ceiling storage right here. Love that they give you the option to do that. I do want to point out all your cabinetry in Flagstaff is going to be real wood. It is not paper wrapped, so you don't have to worry about, you know, that paper pilling on you. Out here in New Mexico, the heat is crazy. We see it all the time with that paper wrap stuff starting to peel, and it starts rolling up and it looks awful. You got hidden hinges, nice and sleek, raised beveled edge on your cabinetry, as well as the magnets. So if you notice, I had to give that a pretty good yank, a lot better than those rolly pins. those rolly pins tend to stretch out, and then you get to your destination and all your cups and plates and bowls are on the floor, and that is no good. So good solid cabinetry. I usually mention every little detail, so if I do miss anything, definitely check out some of my other videos because I talk about everything. One thing you cannot see with this cabinetry is they actually hang all of the cabinets with galvanized steel behind it instead of aluminum. And I've talked about the story a lot. Check out my other videos if you want to hear one of my customers. It benefited them greatly. Over here you do have your U-shaped dinette. And I love U-shaped dinettes, but sometimes I don't. And the one time I do not like U-shaped dinettes is when it's the poles. So a lot of times they have ones where you stick the poles in and they're just stuck there. The reason I don't like them is because this backside of the dinette is almost useless. Like no one can fit back there unless they're a small child. This is going to be a standalone table, so you can actually move it out. So then you can actually utilize this whole back half as well as all the sides. Get some adults actually sitting here versus the poles. You know, if someone's bigger, it's going to be right up against your gut, and that is not comfy. You could even take this table out outside. This does turn into a bed as well, which is why I like this layout so much. So it's very versatile. If you have a grandson, occasional guest, you can sleep an adult on this. So the table, when it's set up, the table itself is going to be 29 by 38. So like I always say, if you want to ruin some relationships, this will fit a Monopoly board game on here. Get around the table, play some board games, nice big table. When you are ready to put this down, all you got to do is pull this sideways, and then it kind of folds down. And then it'll go to these little tabs right here. And then you'll grab the cushions, I think the back ones, and then you'll put those cushions on top of the table. When you make it into a bed, like I said, you can sleep an adult, 44 by 79. So you know, if it's two adults and they're close enough to each other, you can easily sleep two adults, but 44 by 79 for that sleeping arrangement when it's converted into a bed. Down here you have drawers on both sides, and you can access the storage from the outside on that back half, and I will show you. These are huge drawers. These are going to be 13.5 by 27 and 8 inches deep for both drawers on both sides of the dinette. You got some added storage up above. I always talk about this, like some trailers, you'll get a bigger window, but then you lose the storage. And then if you take the storage out, you can get a massive window. What would you guys prefer? Let me know in the comments. It's kind of tough for me. So in this instance, you do get a smaller window, but you do get this added storage that goes across the whole slide out. So good for board games, entertainment purposes. It's gonna be 12 by 85 and 8 inches tall for that storage in there. Put these down. I like this light fixture they're using this year. Pretty cool. Moving on. As you notice, you do have the emergency exit there and your one window there. They couldn't put one over here, obviously, because of the pantry. Turning around, we got the kitchen area. Getting to the good stuff, getting to my favorite place, the kitchen, because I love food. All of your countertops are going to be solid surface countertops. It is not paper or not Formica. So sometimes Formica, when it gets wet, it starts to get bubbly and warp, and it looks awful. So solid surface countertops. I always like to show you the sticker so you know what I'm saying. But this all serves as counter space. So like this kind of serves as prep space because you have this top right here. This one right here is going to be 25 by 48 across. So 25 by 48 of counter space. If you keep your stove top down, so this is added prep space, you got 24 by 54 all the way across over here. And then if you need a little more counter space, you can lift up this extension right here, which comes in handy if you need to put a drying rack or anything like that. This is a 12 by 21 extension. You got a big stainless steel undermount sink. And like I said, you could use this as a drying rack or whatever you feel like you need it for. Move this over. Look how massive that sink is. And it's something that a lot of people miss. They put such small sinks in these trailers. Yes, you could do dishes, but can you do pots and pans? Sometimes they won't fit. So keep that in mind when you're out looking. This is a nice big sink, 14 by 25 and 7 inches deep. Stainless steel sink, metal faucet. On this layout, it does not come down. That is a balloon. They do that for the antifreeze and the lines. But some of them will have like the extension. This one doesn't. We have switched those out if that's something you want. Move this back over. You do have a plug tower right here. So it's pretty cool. This is nice and seamless to the countertop. So here's my case. If you need to, you could charge your phone like that. And it's like a charging pad. Or if you want to bring these up and you got yourself 2 plugs, USB and USB-C. Well, bam! Don't take your finger off, and then it goes nice and flush with the countertop. You do got some drawers. Woohoo! You got your sponge holder right here. Down below, you got 2 separate drawers. One's deeper than the other. So this one's 11 by 13 and 4 inches deep. So you got a place to actually put your utensils. And then this one that's a little deeper, 4 inches deeper than that top one. Again, all real wood cabinetry throughout. Moving on over here to the right. When you're ready to use this, you got your knife holder right here. Whoop, to put all your knives. And then you'll just flip this back. You got your grease backsplash. I do recommend maybe adding something right here, just because you could potentially get grease onto this. So if you do buy one with a stove right here, I would probably put something there. But you got your 3 top burner, nice heavy duty top, and then your fancy dancy lights. Does have the igniter. And then down below, nice big oven. You could fit a full-size turkey in that bad boy, and it'll come down to here as well. So is there a half-size turkey, or is there smaller turkeys? You can fit a turkey in here though. So nice oven. If we flip this back over, sorry for the sniffling. I'm telling you, I don't know, I must be getting a cold or something. It drives me nuts. You got your light fan combo. So this does have an exhaust. It will pull out. And then your microwave. This is just a standard microwave. It is not like a convection or air fryer, because you do get that oven. If you notice, all of your appliances, Magic Chef. Well, bam, Magic Chef. And then your 10 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator is Magic Chef. So all good quality name brand appliances throughout in a Flagstaff. Let's get back to the fridge. This is a 10 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator. These things are super efficient. And check this out. What? You can open it both ways, which, let me tell you why that would work good in this situation. So if someone's cooking right here, you won't have to get in their way. You could come over here, you know, and open it from this side. Another thing I think it'll help with is if you need to get this out. See how you won't be able to get this out if you need to clean it? By being able to open it the other way, you'll be able to get that out and clean it as well. I love 12 volt refrigerators because they cool extremely fast. I'm talking like within 10-15 minutes, this thing will already start getting cold, versus your gas electric, which usually you have to turn on the night before. This is about 13 inches deep right here. So a nice deep freezer, and then you have this tray that adds a little extra on top. And then, like I said, it is deeper because it doesn't have those metal coils in the back like your usual gas electric fridge. So they pretty much phased out the gas electric, just a lot more efficient and a lot deeper. I will pause right here, but I'm probably going to try to touch on everything I usually do so you can see that. But that is that area. Over here to the right, you do have some pantry space. If you want to use that one back there for a wardrobe, you still have more storage for all of your snacks. Pretty deep, not super deep, but I feel like, you know, being that it's a couples coach, should be deep enough. Almost floor to ceiling. That one down there kind of has some of your components and electrical stuff. These are going to be 8.5 by 35, and they go 18 inches tall, 14 inches tall, 14 inches tall, and then 20 inches tall on that bottom one. So a little taller on that bottom one right there. You do get 24/7 roadside assistance for the first year with Flagstaff. I love that. You ever have any trouble, you call them, and they'll, you know, if you're having something isn't working, you call them and they'll kind of help you over the phone. That is cool. So what do you guys think? I love Flagstaff too because they have a vaulted ceiling. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's rounded. So that helps with water, snow, anything like that. You won't have to worry about it, you know, pooling on the roof or water being stuck up there. Your interior height from the floor to the ceiling is going to be 6 feet 8 inches, 80 inches. I did a video yesterday on a new Flagstaff they're doing. It has 7 foot ceilings or something. They made one with higher ceilings. It is crazy. Check out my last video. It's a new layout they're doing. But on this one, you're getting 6 foot 8 inch interior height as well as that vaulted ceiling. The AC is going to be a 15,000 BTU Coleman Mach, 15,000 BTU, and it is all ducted. So a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't make a difference, but it is a lot quieter. And what's cool about it being ducted is you can actually close them and open them, which might not seem like a big deal. A lot of companies, you can't do that. You can even turn them. So if you want to push all that air straight to the top of the bed where you're relaxing, you can do that. And look at all of the ducts. Tons of ducts throughout this trailer. 15,000 BTU, the biggest AC you can get. You'll be nice and cool. I feel good in this, especially in this size of unit, because there is no dividing wall. I don't think it's necessary. If you get a dividing wall, probably want the second AC just because, you know, it's a little harder for it to cool off that secluded room. You do have some drawers up front. We'll get into the control panel before we go outside. This is a nice area that I forgot to measure. Come on, Tyler. I'll put my hand there. So if you have tools or anything like that, you need them right by the doorway when you get ready to park the trailer. You can use those. That is probably for like some filters or something. Just cover it up. But pretty nice. I love the new lights that they're doing in these. It used to be kind of like this one. See how it's like a rounded one? Like a bulge off of it. This one, the new lights they're doing is kind of like a puck light. It's like it's a flush, a puck light. So it looks nice and sleek. I love it. You can't turn them off individually, but you still can dim them, which is important, and I'll show you before we go outside as well. Moving on to the bathroom. Once we finish the bathroom, we will talk about construction and some important features and options. I just kind of like to show you the lay of the land first, because a lot of this stuff, I know you guys watch me, a lot of my videos, so I repeat myself, but this is a good sized bathroom. I wish there was a way they could have done a sliding door. That would have been cool, but you probably would have lost that storage. But plenty of room in this bathroom. So anytime you get the bathroom in the back, you're always going to have plenty of space to get out of the shower and actually, you know, dry off. And I did measure this all out as well. First thing I always tell you guys to do when you go into a trailer, sit on that commode, make sure you got plenty of knee room, plenty of wiping room. Shut the door. This is a porcelain toilet. So the top is plastic, but the bowl is porcelain. So it'll stay a little cleaner. Feels a little more stable too when you're sitting on it. So knee room is not bad. I'm 5'7". I don't think anyone's going to have any issues with this. From the toilet to the door is 21 inches. So like I said, I've got plenty of knee room myself. Turn you around. So if you're right-handed, whoop, bam, you got plenty of room right there. Left-handed, this door, I still have enough room, but what's nice is this door is a tri-slide door. So if you needed to, you can move all of these panels out of the way. And then look, endless room now. So you can do that. I like this more than the shower curtain because you're not going to have a shower curtain sticking to you when you're showering. And also, there's 3 panels right here. And then you have 2 gaskets on that, and it just kind of pushes up against this nicely, so you do not need to worry about water getting out of that shower. So, talking about shower, this is a nice big shower, plenty of room to get in and do what you need to do. I did measure it. This is the biggest shower I've seen in a Flagstaff Microlite. Dang. So, your shower pan is 29 by 40. 29 by 40, and from the shower pan to the skylight, you're looking at 6 feet 6 inches of headspace. So if you're 6 feet 6 inches, you will be in that space dome up there. But it does help. The space dome skylight does help with a little extra height. So 6 feet 6 inches of headroom. Like I said, I am 5'7", have no issues. We're a little shorter out here in New Mexico. So, and as you can see, look, I always say it, you could take one big step for mankind. Look at that. I could actually take a big step comfortably, put my elbows out. So I don't think anyone's going to have too many issues with this shower. This is a big shower. Look, I'm standing all the way at the edge. Look at all that room you still got. Now, this feature right here is for all my dry campers out there. So meaning you do not have hookups. So you're using your actual freshwater tank. The one way you waste the most water in these trailers is you take a shower. And the reason is because when you go take a shower, you stick your hand out, you're waiting for that water to get hot. And what's happening is that's just going straight into the gray tank and it's not coming back. With this little system right here called the shower miser, I will pause right there in case you want to see it. What happens is you can flip this down. It'll circulate through the lines. This will turn like a grayish color. Then you know it's hot. Then you flip it up and it'll spit the water out. So how cool of a feature is that? I always wish they could figure out a way to do it on the sinks, you know? Like if you're doing dishes or something and you need the water hot, that'd be cool if they figured out a way to do that on the kitchen sinks. So, just pause right there so you can see that. Moving on to the sink area. If you're new to the channel, also every Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I go live with all my subscribers and you're able to ask me questions live on the spot and I answer them. And also what else is cool is you can say, hey Tyler, I'm looking for a 25-foot trailer with 5,000 pounds. We can tour the whole lot together and I can show you different options live. Do not worry, you won't be able to, like no one can see you or anything, but you could type out questions. It's really cool. So some storage underneath the sink, easy access to your plumbing. I know you guys like to see that plumbing right there. You got that fancy underglow race car sink. One thing I love about Flagstaff too, the Microlites, is all of your ducts for your heater are on the walls. So you don't need to worry about like rocks and stuff falling into the floor vents. So all of your ducts for your heater will be on the side walls. Pretty good sized sink with decent amount of counter space. You got 6 inches on both sides and 9 inches on the back half. So you can, you know, if you got a straightener, hair dryer, anything like that, you do have room to do that. Please ignore the antifreeze. We just got it. They always put that in the plumbing for winterizing it. This sink will be 9 by 12 and 5 inches deep. So pretty good sized sink. I think that's plenty big because I would prefer to have a little counter space versus too big of a sink and you have absolutely no counter space. You do have a plug over here to the left for your straightener, hair dryer, whatever you need to use. You got your mirror. Check out the dew, as well as your medicine cabinet. Pretty standard stuff right here. I like this layout. I seem to sell it every time we get it. I think it's because people can tell that I really do love it. So, doesn't open all the way because it does hit that valance, but not a big deal. Nice big linen storage right here for all of your bathroom essentials or towels, almost floor to ceiling storage. I can't even reach back there. Each one of these is going to be 24.5 by 12. And then they go from 16 inches tall and then the rest are 15 inches tall. So plenty of room. That is plenty of storage. I always love when they actually give storage in each area of the trailer. Like you got storage for your snacks, you got storage for your pots and pans, you got storage for your, you know, your towels and bathroom stuff. Makes it a lot more easy to pack the trailer up and go. And you got a window that you can actually open. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how they decide not to open it or how to, like when they decide to let it open, but I wish they would just let you open the window every time. So you do got a window in here as well as your shade. And it's got the big fart fan, baby. Woo! Look at those blades. So this does have 4 speeds. It will pull some air out. And it does have the rain cover. Huge fan of the rain cover because obviously the rain won't come in if you accidentally leave this open. But one thing I always tell my customers and stuff, the rain cover is nice because if you're going down the road, you can keep this fan on and it'll pull that hot air out. It won't be so stuffy in here when you get to your campground. So that will pull out some air. That'll help with the condensation in here, potential smells. And you know, when you're going down the road, you can't keep that going. So overall, nice, comfortable bathroom. Like, I have the door shut and I'm walking around just fine. So we'll talk about some of the features and benefits. Oh, I do want to show you how high this is, because sometimes I put it too low. So like I said, I'm 5'7". It is above my head. So if you are a little taller, it's kind of tough because they do that on all of them. But it is the wand, so you can pull it off and rinse yourself off. Yeah, max air, 4-speed fan with cover. I love the lighting. Doesn't that look good? And then look at the magnet down here. It just sticks. Yeah. Nice heavy duty magnet. Now, talking about some of the features and options, we'll come over here to the control panel. Let me put I'm going to put this thing down real quick because we're going to do travel mode. So, this is for all of my winter campers. If you're someone that likes to camp in cold weather, this is a very important feature. Those of you that watch all my videos, I'm sorry I repeat myself. I have a problem with having to do things the same way every time. I do not like to cut corners. So this button right here, tank heaters, we'll go over that. So tank heaters is for winter camping, or if you're just going through a cold state. All right, sorry about that, guys. I don't know, my camera cut off, so let's start where I was. There is really 2 ways that you can heat an underbelly. There is 3, but I don't really count radiant heat. But this method is going to be with the 12-volt heat pads. The other way is you could have a heated and enclosed underbelly, and then you have a duct from the heater going into that underbelly, keeping those tanks from freezing. The reason I love 12-volt heat pads so much more is because, let's say you're going down the road, maybe you're in Arizona and you're going up into Colorado and they're having freezing temperatures. You're not going to be able to keep your heater running when you're going down the road. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So this, being that it's 12 volt, you can put these on and then go down the road and not have to worry about your tanks freezing. The cool thing about Flagstaff's tank heaters, though, is that they're actually smart tank heaters. So they will go on automatically at freezing temps and off once you're above freezing temps. So all you do is put that on, going down the road. You don't have to worry about any of your tanks freezing. The last thing you want to do is be going down the road with your tanks filled, and then you get to your campground and your tanks are rock solid frozen. The other reason why I like 12-volt heat pads is because, let's say you're out in Colorado camping in cold weather. Maybe you want to go grab some dinner or go fishing or something, and you have your tanks filled. Do you really want to have to keep your tanks, your heater going the whole time you're gone? Because propane is not cheap. I definitely would not want to do that. So 12-volt heat pads are going to be a lot better because, you know, turn those on once you get home, then kick your heater on and you're good to go. Now you're probably thinking, well, what about it draining your battery because it's 12 volts? Well, this also has 1800 watts of, 200 watts of solar, 1800 watt inverter. So that's constantly going to keep your batteries recharged. And the cool thing is you could even add more if you want, like another 400 watts, I believe. But I haven't really had anyone need to, add that additional solar for the tank heaters. So I'm a fan of the tank heaters a lot more because it's a little more, it's a little more dependable, because if you're going down the road, you can keep it going, or if you're out of the trailer, you can have this thing kicked on and it'll do its thing. Not all 12-volt heat pads are the same though, so you have to be careful. Flagstaff is one of the few that does do those smart tank heaters. So great feature if you're someone that likes to camp in cold weather. Is this following me again? It is following me. So now talking about solar. Like I said, it does have 200 watts of solar, 1800 watt inverter. That's constantly going to keep your batteries recharged. The cool thing about that is over here, if we come right here, come on, my gimbal's doing whatever it wants today. It's probably sick like me. So these plugs right here, because of the inverter, as you can see, it says inverter circuit. All of your outlets, not all of them, there's a few that I think aren't, but these are all tied into the inverter, so they will operate without being plugged into shore power or a generator. So if you're someone that has a CPAP machine, how convenient is that going to be when you need to get a good night's sleep, or just stop off and charge your phone, or if you just don't want to run the generator? This is going to be huge. So 12-volt heat pads, 200 watts of solar, 1800 watt inverter. That is huge. Now let's talk about construction real quick. since we're in here. This is going to be a 6-side aluminum frame trailer, meaning the roof, the floor, both sidewalls, front and back. A lot of companies do that, but Flagstaff goes a step further than most of the other companies out there. They aluminum frame everything, meaning the dinette, if it had bunks, it would be aluminum framed. Even the front part of the bed would be aluminum framed. So they literally aluminum frame everything. And there is a little sticker right here. See how it says aluminum frame bed, base, and dinette. So it's kind of hard to tell, but see that aluminum framing in there? This is all going to be aluminum framed. I have had customers crack their dinettes, and the one way they always do it is they come over here, they stick their knee down, bam! And then what they do is they go to grab the shade and pull the shade down. I have seen it a lot, and it always cracks, obviously, because of the wood framing in the dinette. So with aluminum framing, you're not going to have to worry about that. It is not cheap to reframe your dinette, and you got to imagine how much time is it going to be at the dealership and you not being able to use it. So sometimes spending a little more money for the better quality might save you money in the long run, as well as save you time. If you have a trip coming up that you already planned, how much of a bummer would it be if you couldn't make it because the dinette is cracked in half? So all aluminum frame, front wall, back wall, both side walls, roof, floor, as well as dinettes and beds. So when you go look around at dealerships, ask the sales guy, is it 6-side aluminum framed? Because if it's not, it's mixed with wood or it's wood framed. And you got to be careful because some of these companies, they'll put a sticker on the sidewall and it'll say aluminum framing, but that might mean, you know, maybe just the sidewalls, not everything. So you got to be careful. I'm not saying it's bad, but this is a big investment and you just know what you're paying for. Let's show you travel mode real quick, actually. So we'll put this slide in real quick. If you don't know what travel mode is, it is basically you put the slide in to see what you can and cannot access. I already know this one, this travel mode trailer, but I'll put it in just so you could see. So, this is not the best travel mode trailer. It's not a big deal to me because I like the layout so much. And another reason why I don't mind it is because, like I said, this is a rack and pinion slide system. So some slide systems you can't put out partially. Like a Schwintek slide, you have to put it in all the way or put it out all the way. You can't stop halfway. Rack and pinion slides, you can put them out halfway. So if you needed to get to the bathroom real quick, look how long, let's see, look how fast I could do this with just pushing the button. So if you need to get to the bathroom real quick, hold it for 2 seconds and boom, you're through. So not a big deal to me, but I know you guys like me to show you that. So you could put it out partially. Let's see what the bed does. I'm pretty sure you can't put the bed down with the slide in. Let's just see. Travel mode isn't a big deal to me. It's kind of like one of those things, east-west bed, northwest or north-south bed. You cannot put the bed down with the slide in. So that will be your travel mode on this unit. And put this slide in real quick, or put it out real quick. So when we're talking about slides, come on, gimbal. There you go. Sorry if that made you guys sick. So one thing with slides, people get this confused. You cannot sit, stand, or use the slide unless it's all the way out. It doesn't matter which RV, what trailer you buy, fifth wheel, you cannot use them. You have to put them all the way out to use because you will damage them. You could split the floor from the slide. You could tweak it. A lot of people get that confused because of motorhomes. Motorhomes are engineered to actually, you know, sit on when you're going down the road. Just wanted to clarify that real quick. So really nice unit. I did forget to show you the TV as well. I told you I'm not feeling too good today. So this does have a 32-inch smart TV with all the apps ready to go. And it does pull out as well. Let's see, let me put this out. Okay, so you can see it pretty good from the couch. I'm doing this because I had a subscriber want me to show you from each area. So you could easily see it from here. If the bed was down, you could easily see it. And then if you turn this, you can easily see it from the dinette. The dinette, it's perfect. Like literally everyone can see the TV, which is pretty cool. That is a 12-volt TV too, so it will run without being plugged into a generator or shore power. Let me put the awning lights on. You got your screen, so if you want to get some fresh air, and it does have a shade that opens from the bottom up. I can't do it like that. So if you want a little privacy but let light in, it will do that. Another thing, these steps are really nice. They're not all the same either. So if you look right here, these actually have a gas strut. So keep an eye out for these, because these are 60 pounds of metal and they are not very light, and some, they do not have that gas strut. So look how easy it is. I lifted it with one hand. So nice assist for you on these steps. They fold right down to the ground and you could adjust them if you're on uneven surface. Coming to the front, you got your electric tongue jack, little docking light right there, 30-pound propane tanks with the cover, dual battery box with the battery disconnect. You do have electric stabilizers on this now. Instead, they used to do just crank, so you don't need to worry. These will hit 50 pounds of pressure and then move to the next leg, so you don't have to worry about, you know, cranking it too much. These are just to keep the trailer from moving around. It is not to level the trailer. You don't get auto level until you're like in the super light. This is your storage. You got your luggage latch right there, slam latch. Lift this up. The storage is a little off-centered on this one, and I will tell you why. So I don't know if you remember me mentioning how some Murphy beds, they fold, like on the mattress, they fold 3 times. If you wanted the storage to be just straight on, those are the ones where the mattress is going to have a bunch of seams in it because they have to fold it, so you get that. I personally would have the off-centered storage and have a better, more comfortable mattress, because you won't be able to switch out the mattress, because where are you going to find a comfortable folding mattress? So that is why it's off-centered. If you ever see Murphy beds with it centered, it's because it has the folded mattress. It will go all the way across. Yeah, I was right. So standard solar, 200 watts of solar, and you could add up to 600 watts. And then we'll shut this. Nice big awning. It's got the LED lights all the way across, and like I said, it does have the frameless windows, which I love because there's no gasket. You don't have to worry about, you know, this starting to get brittle and crack on you. So one piece glass, that helps a lot with this heat out here. Now, talking about some of these safety features. If safety is important to you, this is going to be a nice little point of the video. So right off the lot, you get a Goodyear Endurance tire. So a good quality tire off the lot. You get never adjust brakes by Dexter. So a lot of people don't know this, but you're supposed to adjust your brakes after a certain number of miles. These will self-adjust. It also has a tire monitoring system, so there will be a sensor around the rim, and then you will get a little screen in your tow vehicle, and it'll alert you before your tires get too hot or low. Another thing that this has is a torsion axle. So instead of leaf spring, these axles will actually flex independently. So you got to imagine how much better is that going to tow, and also how much is that going to absorb a lot of that shock transferring into the frame of the trailer. So great features right there. If safety is important, you got tire monitoring system, Goodyear Endurance tire, never adjust brakes, and your torsion axle. Moving on. One thing I did want to point out, because it might have been a little confusing, even though this has tank heaters, it is still an enclosed and heated underbelly. So you are good to go with that. They did stop giving you the griddle on the 2026 models, but they give you the bracket, and we can order it for you, and then you have your propane line right there. Got your outdoor speakers right there, Bluetooth. So you got indoor and outdoor speakers. Does come with the ladder. It's not ladder prepped like some of these other brands out there. Spare tire. It does have a receiver on the back that will hold 300 pounds. You got your hot and cold water shower. Black tank flush when you want to clean the tanks. Like I said, rack and pinion slide system. And then your utilities right there for hooking up at a campsite. And then down here, you got some storage, which is also another good example of that 6-side aluminum framing that I was telling you about. Little more storage right here. Oh, it is locked. Come on. This storage, it's this size, but it goes all the way up to the top of the slide right there. And then your pass-through on this side as well. You got your potable water with a 54-gallon fresh water tank. Whew, that was a lot. I didn't get into the outer walls and the composite materials that they use. I usually do it every single time. So if you're curious about how they construct these walls, just watch any of my other Flagstaff videos. This one's just getting a little too long, and I go into what type of materials they use on these outer walls. It's very impressive. So as a whole, top to bottom, Flagstaff makes one of the best built trailers, in my opinion. If you want to know where I'm located at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our phone number will be down below in the description. So if you call in, please ask for Tyler, because we're on a rotating list. And if you don't ask for me, you could end up with another sales guy. And also, because I am not a full-time YouTuber, I am a full-time salesperson, so I would really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so if that tour seemed a little wonky, just go easy on me. We will be back tomorrow. We've gotten a lot of great stuff in. Maybe I'll try to do a bunkhouse tomorrow, a Nobo, just to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good evening, a good night, a good afternoon, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys.